Hello, Captains. Welcome back. I'm your host, USS Endeavor. We are aboard the Tier 7 Russian Tech Tree Destroyer, the Tashkent. Gameplay code is down below if you'd like to skip all the stats, commander, build, and head straight into the action. Otherwise, stick around and let's take a look at how I play her. With our Concealment build, we have Anton Gurin at the helm, who helps with our AP shell penetration multiplier. And with the inspirations being none other than Jerzy Swirsky and Eric Bay, helping us to lower our concealment as much as we possibly can. In our first slot, we have Contact is Imminent, increasing our torpedo speed. Look at Me Now in the second, again reducing that detectability further. Perceptive in the third, which reduces incoming damage, shows the torpedo range a little bit better, and gives us a bearing locator. Smoke on the Water, helping with our smoke dispersion and duration, and Unstoppable in case our engine gets knocked out. Aiming Systems Mod 1 is in the first mod slot. Second slot is Propulsion Mod, and third is our Concealment System Mod. Fourth slot, we have the Main Battery Mod 3. On to the actual consumables. They're all very familiar, except with the Tashkent, you get an option between a smoke generator and a heal. We've elected for the smoke, and in the second, the standard engine boost. With the survivability, we have gotten a big jump to 21,500 hit points. I told you we'd be getting healthier here soon, and you're going to be able to enjoy that health pool for the remainder of the line and series. Onto the artillery, we have 6 guns and 3 dual turrets. 130 millimeter guns is still the same. Reload time is 4.5 seconds. It reaches out to 12 kilometers. Our 180 degree turn time has gotten a little bit better, but they're still rather slow. HE shell damage, AP shell damage, as you can see down below, with an 8% chance to set fires. Most of this is pretty stock. The turrets are a little bit in a different configuration this time. Onto the torpedoes. This is where it gets a little interesting. You have 9 torpedoes that are all center line, so you can shoot all 9 from one side or the other. Torpedo range is 8 kilometers, and it was that way when you first got it upgraded. So this was the first time where having torpedoes was actually usable for the Russians, and hasn't seen a buff since that I know of. 64 knot speed. Is a little bit slower, though, compared to the other lower-tiered ones. The AA defense is still pretty laughable. Not a strong suit of this line until you get to, like, legendary tier. Maneuverability, though, is pretty good. 43.8 knots. Maximum speed before the engine speed boost is rather nice. Turning circle radius is getting a little big at 730 meters, which is getting into cruiser and lower battleship turning circle radius. Rudder shift time is 5.4 seconds. It's still a little maneuverable. It's very fast still, but getting a little clunky. Onto the concealment. We've been able to get it down to 5.7 kilometers, which again is usable. It's not the best. It's a little worse than average, but it's not bad. 2.9 firing from smoke, 3.3 detectability by air. So that's what we got for the concealment, which is usable. So on to the ship stats, 48%, not the greatest. For some reason, I've struggled in this boat, and I struggled getting a video. So seems to be a theme there. The armor is still relatively the same. HE is still gonna hurt you pretty bad. Alright, Captains, we spawn on the map north, and oddly enough, we're on the northern section of the map. Go figure. No divisions in this match. I'm playing solo, and we spawn right across from Bravo. So, being the concealed destroyer that we are, although this is a rather large destroyer, if you look at it compared to other ones side by side, it sits awfully high out of the water, and it's pretty lengthy. So, this thing can be really easy to hit, which it may very well be why it has 21,500 hit points. I don't know, but I'm thankful for it. I need it. I need every bit of health that I can get. But I just want to kind of point that out. It's a little bit larger of a profile of a ship. But we're going to head straight into Bravo. And just a couple of destroyers on either side. And so we're going to head right in here. And normally what I like to do on this is I like to kind of... There's no real easy place to go in here, except for where I'm going to go that I found to be rather effective to isolate yourself, still maintain the cap presence without actually getting, detected pretty badly. So we're going to come all the way over here, and we can make this move because the other destroyer hasn't pushed in quite quickly enough. We are fast, so we can get here first. Threw some torpedoes because I wasn't quite sure if there was going to be a destroyer over in that section. But I like to tuck in right here because you can just squeeze into the cap, and there the destroyer pops up, which is a Z-23, which can be dangerous if he gets within 4 kilometers because then he can hydro me while maintaining smoke cover and do a number on me. But as we're here in this corner, as you can see, the Odin and the other battleship that's over there, they don't really have shots on me. So even though I'm hydroed, and you do have to be careful about where I'm looking right now, over at Alpha. If ships are over there, they can technically have a line of sight to you. You got to get just a little bit more tucked in. It's a very fine line that you can dance here. But I found this to be rather effective. You can stay right here, and although I'm detected, they don't really push the cap. They can't shoot at me, so they can't reset me. And we're just going to kind of chillax here until we can take this cap. Being cognizant of the ships over at Alpha, but they're distracted by our ships that are also on Alpha, so that works in our favor. Down to 10 seconds left to cap this cap. I do need to be careful of the hydro range of this destroyer, the Z-23. And also, the Z-23 is about to get a buff come Monday. So that actually might be worth looking into. There's a lot of ships that got buffed and nerfed and reworked and commanders, and it's crazy. If you hadn't seen the patch notes, if you haven't looked at any of the reviews yet of what's coming, a lot of exciting stuff for the Independence Day July rework. Anyway, that's a little tidbit. I can give you my thoughts on it a little bit later if you'd like. But here, back onto the gameplay, the Z-23 is deciding to come back in, and oddly enough, the Hydro's not running. I'm guessing it already ran out. But we're going to come out here, and we're going to go toe-to-toe with him with our fantastic 130mm guns. He backs up, but realizes that was a mistake, so he's going to push forward. We're going to change our aiming point, and we do have a ship behind us that's also helping us go toe-to-toe with this guy, and he is gone. So that's a huge win for us, taking 50% of the destroyers on the Reds off the board. And looking at the bearing locator, there is a... stop shooting, Joe. You're not supposed to be shooting. You're not playing the cruiser role. You're playing the destroyer role. Anyway, I get confused from time to time. It's just... It's tough to do. Because the play style, I'm just kind of ingrained, and sometimes I have to throw myself back into the concealment role, which is not always the fun thing, if I'm being completely honest. I like being in the action. I like getting shots taken at me. I don't know, call me weird, but I enjoy it. But anyway, we're going to push around here. Charlie Cap is being flipped, and I'm guessing the destroyer is in there in that smoke screen that is just now dissipating. So that's awfully good information to know that whatever is in there doesn't have access to their smoke anymore. Seeing it's the Akatsuki, that is a torpedo boat. So I am just trying to make sure that we don't get caught by torpedoes. Here the Richelieu is coming around the corner, and I wanted to throw torpedoes on the known spot, but there's a ship that's sinking right there. I didn't want my torpedoes to just fall into nothing. So there the Akatsuki pops up. He's looking at me finally and realizes, oh boy, it's a Tashkent. So I'm chiming in with these guns, and there we knock out his engine and his rudder, and we take him out. These guns are really, really good, and they reload awfully fast. Here the Richelieu is slowing down, which unfortunately he's going to dodge all of these torpedoes, which he didn't get the memo. He was supposed to take one. Oh, yeah, there, he took one. So, never mind. But he quickly damage cons that, so we don't get any flood damage. Boo-hoo. I guess we're just going to have to gun him down and hope that my teammates can help, because this guy is awfully tanky and hard to take down with these guns. But our team is doing a really good job. We are whittling him down. We got a fire for our efforts as well. And can we set another fire? I'm aiming for the bow, because I know that midsection's already on fire, and I would love to be, if I'm going to catch him on fire, I'd like to do it off the nose. But he goes down. So that is the end of him. Our teammates are doing a good job of taking the Charlie cap, so I am not needed there. So we're going to push back over towards Bravo now that we've cleaned up Charlie's side and we've cleaned up Bravo's side. The only one left is Alpha, and it's the team is very lopsided at the moment. However, this is going to be a good lesson, not just for me, because I desperately needed to be humbled, and I needed to relearn this. So, but just to reiterate to everybody else, just because you have an overwhelming points lead like this, understand you don't have to recklessly go out and try to get more damage, because just because there's 3 guys left, well, you're going to learn awfully quickly that you can get humbled awfully fast, and don't let the score and the ship count dissuade you and turn you into this, lull you into a false sense of security. Because if there's one thing that I am constantly reminded of in this game, is that it is never over until it is over. So pushing in here, there's a Gascon, and there is a cruiser left, which I failed to realize in the moment that it's a Chapayev. And the Chapayev you don't see that often anymore out in the open water, but it has a radar. And here I know I'm being spotted by radar, and yet I'm still pushing around this corner. Like, loo-doo-doo, da-dee-da, I don't really care. The game's won anyway, what's the point? And I'm about to learn really quickly, that's stupid thinking. And so I just get nailed by the Chapayev right there, and he breaks most of my ship, so I've got to damage con that, and there I go unspotted. But unfortunately, as I'm trying to push around this corner, and I realize that was a mistake, I'm trying to get my torpedoes into play, but in doing so, the Gascon spots me. He's not even shooting at me, but it doesn't really matter, because now I'm spotted again, and his secondaries are going off, and now the Chapayev has another shot at me, and I'm just getting absolutely obliterated, and I'm like, whoa, what happened? We were doing so good, and then before I know it, I'm dead. And yeah, and I don't hit anything with the torpedoes. Now, I say all that kind of tongue-in-cheek. Do we win the game? Yes. Did I do well up to that point? Sure. But the game's never over until the game's over. And just as easily as I got taken out, my team could have just as easily gotten taken out. Yes, we were up against a Gascon. Yes, we were up against a Chapayev. Are those ships really well known out there and being these awesome superpowered ships? Not particularly. The Azuma's gotten much, much better with the buff that it received, but it just goes to show it's never over until it's over, and you can be yeeted and taken out awfully fast if you're being stupid, like I was. So I am fully aware of the fact that I made a boneheaded move right there, and so I'm just as hard on me. In fact, I'm probably more hard on myself than anybody could be. And I learned a very important lesson. Don't be stupid, but just take your time. You don't have to win harder, is my point. However, our team, for the most part, does a really, really good job of cleaning up the rest of these ships. There, the Belfast kind of dodges a literal bullet from the Gascon. Could have gotten destroyed there. Again, another case in point. The destroyer's coming around the corner, and our Gascon isn't shooting at him, but the secondaries are going off on him. And I'm surprised that he didn't take him out when he did. Should have died there, but the Gascon gets taken out. And there's the end of the game. So, overall, the concealment build on the Tashkent, it works. It's low enough. It's concealed enough to where it can make these plays. Is it my go-to fun play style? Not really. And although we didn't get first on the team, we were awfully close to getting first. Just missing out by a couple XP. But should have done a little bit better there at the end. So, lesson learned. Understand the score of what you're up against. Don't make boneheaded plays like that. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment below. Fair winds and fair seas, comrades. We're getting close to the end of this series, but we do have a couple more videos and ships to go, so stick around. It's still going to be fun. Thank you very much, captains, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the patch notes. If you haven't seen them, go check them out from other fellow CCs that are out there. And until then, this is the USS Endeavor, signing off.